Okay, let's hop right into this. So yesterday we were going to a different place. Redania. Redania. Board the airship? Yes. We're getting on the boat again. Which is so cool to me. Look at me. I actually look kind of cool. I look much better than what I looked like yesterday. Okay. Talk to you. You must be the envoy from Ulda. Welcome to Gridania, madam. The elder Seedseer awaits your arrival. Yes. Greetings, good madam. You are the Ulda envoy, are you not? I have received instructions to assist you. Pray, make your way into the city proper and identify yourself to the conjurer at Nafika's altar. She'll admit you to the lotus stand where the elder Seedseer awaits. Okay. Where am I supposed to go? Present. Ooh. Pretty. Okay. This is definitely not where I'm supposed to go. Sometimes I'm like, where is the goddamn door in this place? Where is the goddamn door of this place? It's not that door. I guess it is up here. Oh, there's a thing to attune. Here it is. Oh, there's so many people. This person's a sprout. They have a hat on. Go this way. And it's right here. Pilot Conjurer. You're the Ulda envoy? Begging your pardon, madam, but might I suspect the missive you bear? Here you go. Verily, this is the seal of Supreme Commander of the Immortal Flames. Please come with me. Okay, I'm coming.
So you are the Ul'dan envoy. On
That is
behalf
I.
of our fair nation, I bid you welcome.
You're
Please.
pretty.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Khan-e Senna, Elder Seedseer of Gridania, and leader of the Order of the
Gridania.
Twin Adder, our nation's grand company.
Nice.
I understand you bear a message from the Flame General.
I do. I do. Remember in service of the fallen. Pray, tell me, adventurer, what do you know of our conflict with the Empire? It would seem my counterparts recounted the tale in some detail, that is well. A message from the Admiral? A wolf has been sniffing around her stables, you say. I see. Well, I shall be pleased to provide her with such counsel as I am able. But first, friend of my friend, I will tell you more of the Garlean threat. For the greater part of its history, Garlemald was not even among the most influential nations in Islabard, the northern continent. However, its innovations in the field of magitech some 50 years past helped to raise it from the depths of obscurity. Moldened by this technology, it set about okay, hold on. There's so many big words. Subjugating its neighbors, swiftly absorbing into its ever expanding territory. But when all of Islabard lay within its grasp, it turned into ravenous gaze upon Orzia. I'm going to pronounce everything wrong always. Yet Garmold's transformation did not come about its virtue by Magitech alone. Its success owed much to the consummate leadership of its first and reigning emperor. The man who built an emperor. Oh, that's that guy. Built an empire in his own lifetime, yet he has lived long, and after more than 80 winters, it's said that he grows frail and even more prone to illness. If rumors are to believe, the matter of succession has destabilized the imperial court. This would explain the empire's relative inactivity in recent years, which has granted us much needed time to rebuild. Ooh, yet we cannot allow ourselves to become complacent. Commanding this great host is a man whose ambitions are well known to us. So long as he breathes Azorian air, none of us may sleep easy. We have not the strength to repel the Empire. That's not good. To add to our woes, the beast tribes continue to summon their primals, whose very existence is a bane upon the land. Each nation is beseaced with its own primal problem. None has the resources to look beyond its own borders. The Admiral desires my counsel regarding a brazen wolf. She means to tell me that the Empire may soon resume its advance. Ooh, that's not good. The storm gathers upon the horizon. If we are to weather it, we must needs stand unified once more. Remembrance service may help to rekindle the spirit of unity which brought the people of Orzia together when last the Empire threatened our liberty. Flame General was wise to make his proposal, and I wholeheartedly approve of it. The necessary provisions shall be made for a service here in Gridania. Okay. I love the huge feather pen. Ginormous feather pen. Hi. How's work? Your work here is done, my friend. I shall send my reply to the Flame General forthwith. Thank you for coming. May the 12 see you safely home. It is going for sure. Semi-busy. Is it? Gross. Minions. You have now obtained a whistle, which you can summon your very own minion. To learn the call minion action, you must first use the whistle. Once you have used the item, a new entry will appear in your minion guide, found under character in the main menu. You can either initiate the action with this menu or drag the icon. Okay, hold on. Once you have used the item. Okay. Wander off back to wherever it rests until you call upon it again. Where is my whistle? This thing? How do I call upon it, though? Said it would pop up. I don't know. Where's the quest? Here it is. Serpent Officer has information that may be of interest to you. I pray your meeting with the Elder Seedseer went well, my Lady Envoy. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but did you not deliver a message to Admiral Merle Wibb of... Yeah, I did. While you were there, did you happen to meet Balderin, the prosperator of Drowning Wench? He has a task for a capable adventurer. I know not what the task entails, but I dare say the Flame General's personal envoy would make a fine candidate. If you're interested in learning more, pray speak with Balderin at his establishment. Okay. I'm gonna touch this. Okay. Choo! Ah. Okay. Let's go. Thank you. I sneezed. I sneezed. Where am I going? This way. An Adventurers Guild. Drowning Wench. Yes. He should be here somewhere. Here he is. I'm Balderin, all right. Who's asking? Heard as if I got a job for a capable adventurer, you say. Well, you're bloody right. Just so you're fairly warned, though, this ain't a job for the faint of heart. Things are reliable to get a downright bleeding area. Oh my god. I can't with the... Oh. I guess this is the only one. You have obtained a tuft of phoenix down. It can be used to revive an incapacitated player. Ooh. May prove beneficial when delving into dungeons and other activities with a party. That's cool. Oh. Reading and voicing for the accent here. There. Yeah, I was like, I can't. Super busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word as it's some suspicious looking buggers. Okay. Don't sound like much, I know. Try your best pirate impression. That should be close enough. I'll do a pirate. That's so funny. If you would permit me, Master Batterin, I would be happy to elaborate. Ooh, okay. Somebody who speaks English? Well, well, if it ain't the Chief Yellow Jacket himself. What do I owe this rare honor? Commodore Rainer? Come to make sure the Patreons are behaving or just thirsty? Neither, in fact. I was informed that you had requested an adventurer to assist in my investigation. I came to offer what information I could sift from the recent reports. Over the course of the past moon, there had been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel of the coast of Elport, in the vicinity of the Isles of Umbra. This information came to my attention no more than a few weeks after the squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Satasha Sea Girl included. Their search revealed little, save that a family of Kohlers have taken up residence in the caves, nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Satasha again. But with Sahagin testing our defenses lately, I am loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. What is my reason? Honestly, I love MMOs and I needed an MMO to get into. Everybody, like all of my friends, play this game. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll try. This is like my third or fourth time trying to get into the game though. And I just could not get into it. So, like, at all. I didn't get far at all. So I finally watched like a beginner's guide video. What was the reason? Basically because I like MMOs and I wanted to play an MMO. And everybody plays this game, so I was like, I'll play this MMO then, instead of like WoW or something, because nobody plays WoW around me. What made you quit 3 times? Oh, I just didn't understand it. Like, I didn't understand the map. I didn't understand what I was doing. And I finally watched a beginner's guide video on YouTube literally yesterday or 2 days ago. And it explained so much to me. And now I'm like, okay, I finally understand what I'm doing for the most part. No, not really. And they did offer. They're like, we can help you. But I feel like it's not the same. That was the biggest thing though, is like not understanding what I was doing at all. But now that I kind of understand what I'm supposed to be doing and like what quests I'm supposed to be doing, I feel like I can actually play the game correctly. Not that there's a correct way to play the game, because you can play however you want. However, I just need some sort of like guidance in the beginning. But yeah, now I've been into it. I understand trying to get into the game in the first part of the game. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, especially when you don't know like what quest that you're supposed to be working on, how to get further into the game, how to get like gear, things like that. I didn't know Jack and I bashed my brains against all the walls in the game. Yeah, I just ended up watching a video because I was like, I am getting so annoyed with the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. And everybody loves this game. So I'm just like, okay, like it must be me. So like I need to figure out. I just brute forced it and I won't be ashamed of this. I slept through the entire base game. Did you? You see, I'm trying to enjoy it. You treated it like a 9-to-5 job. Oh my God. Where am I supposed to go? Oh, I guess I could just go to the lower decks. Where the heck is the lift attendant? Which shows when I was super confused in the post patch and the Nexus fix. Yeah, I didn't want. You were half asleep playing and skipping through all the content. I don't want to do that. I want to like actually figure out what I'm doing, like actually understand what I'm doing. That's how I feel about Skyrim. Everyone loves it, but I'm lost and don't understand what's happening, so haven't been able to get into it. Yeah, like I want to actually understand what I'm doing, and everybody loves this game. You're here. Hi. I think I already attuned this, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Skyrim, honestly, you just pick a direction. Yeah, you just pick a direction and you just start moving. Or spend dozens and dozens of hours modding it and then it breaks. Oh my god. Don't do that. But yeah, I don't have fun if I don't understand what I'm doing. Like no. I have a dedicated drive for Skyrim, 2 terabytes of space. Holy shit. I feel like I'm supposed to go down there. Okay. I didn't get far into Skyrim, but I did play some of it and I did enjoy it. I don't know why I didn't continue playing it though, but I would love to replay that. Like start over and play it again. The next Elder Scrolls game better blow everything. Do you play ESO? You only play? Yeah, I did play ESO for a bit. I feel like that was easier to understand. I feel like it was much easier to understand in this game. But so far, I've been liking this game. I've been playing for the past 2 to 3 days non-stop, so it's been my main MMO since my senior year of high school. Wow. Yeah, ESO was kind of my main MMO for a bit. I did try WoW recently. Well, I played WoW a couple years ago, but then I tried it again recently, and everybody's been playing this. So I'm like, okay, I want to play with my friends. Like, so I was like, we're gonna try it again, but I'm gonna watch a video. I was like, we're gonna watch a video this time. I'm unattuned to that. Okay. What did I just do? I hate this map sometimes. Airport, right? Airport is where I'm supposed to be going. It should be, right? I hate this map sometimes. click on the icon. What icon? The quest icon. Because it just says, okay, we're just gonna go. I'm pretty sure it was Illport because that is what they said on the quest. Like they were saying Illport. Yeah, let's go. I was right. Okay. Thank God I actually read it. Otherwise. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was confused for a second. I was like, where am I supposed to go? Were you in navigation hell trying to figure out the city layout? Yes. Yes. 100%. It is the worst experience. But I figured it out. Kind of. Okay. The occupants... Indeed it is. The occupants of this caves are rumored to be as numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling into such a den of savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions. And you shall need the training we here at the Hall of Novice can provide. I strongly suggest that you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing on your mission. Are you telling me that I'm not good, bro? That I can't do it by myself? When you have mastered all... Yes. When you have mastered all that our masters have to teach, then it will be time to head north once more. I feel like I'm good enough, but okay. Fine. Designed especially for your chosen role, these solo exercises will teach you the ins and outs of party combat. You may have accessed them at any time, either by selecting Hall of Novice from the duty section of the main menu, or by speaking with any of the smiths found in the Inventorers Guild. Okay. What does this guy do? You have yet to fully complete your training. Oh my god. Okay. The Hall of Novice offers training exercises for party combat. Upon completing these exercises, you will receive a brand new gear for your chosen role, as well as a brand new ring, which increases XP earned by 30%. Oh. Okay. I never took it and they never had it back then. You'll be learning avoidance. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready, I think. Okay. Do I have to hit him? Okay. Yes. Okay. I think I just dodged. Yeah. I did it! Those who insist on standing still won't long survive the profession. And speaking of survival, perfecting each one of my lessons will earn you a piece of armor to aid you in your chosen role. Nice! A dodge tutorial, yeah. Just make sure you always walk forward, left, right. Going backwards makes you slow walk. Oh, okay. But never just walk backwards. Go like... Okay. Okay. Let's do another one. Oh! Holding down the right mouse button. You can use your camera and... If you strike a foe other than the one controlled by your ally, then you risk becoming the target of deadly aggression. Okay, I wasn't reading what he was saying. Okay, your ally will hold the enemy's attention. It is your job to take the foe down. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, now that I know I can just hold right click and move that way, it's much easier to move around. Okay, we did it. Who needs YouTube videos when you have experts in the chat? For real. Do you mark the sturdiness of your ally taking... I love backseat gaming, so it's fine. As long as I'm not playing like a story game, you know? Like that's the only time that I'm like, okay, I don't want to know what happens next. But defeat an occupied target. Okay, let's do it. I like the music. Multiple opponents. Okay. Under a focused assault. Okay. I'm ready. These are actually really good tutorials. I'm not sure if they had these back in Shadowbringers, but when I played, they just threw us in a dungeon and said good luck. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't even know these work. Tummy hurt. Tacos disagreed tonight. Oh no. Be sure to attack the same enemy. Okay. Which one are they fighting? This one. Okay, and then not homemade, from the gas station, which is probably why your stomach hurts. I failed this one. Okay. Okay. We're trying this again. Oh, we move on to the fist fighter. I see. Okay. Now we move on to the other one. It was out in room temperature for 6 hours. Oh my god. Never felt such agony at 1 a.m. in the morning. That's horrible. Oh my god. Should we do another one? How many trainings are there? 7. Okay. Avoid engaged Okay, let's see. Yeah. Let us proceed directly to the briefing. You remember the lesson where I had you evading enemy attacks? Yes. This exercise will put that training to the test. You must plan your strikes around some fancy footwork. Okay. Oh my god. Yes, I have had a moment in the bathroom where I just had to get everything off of me because I was dying. It's horrible. It is universal. Yes, it's horrible. Okay. Engage the axe wielder, but keep an eye out for counterattacks. Okay. If you allow yourself to be hit 5 times, we will start this exercise again from the beginning. Okay. Whenever I'm struggling or in pain, I make some weird ass faces. Honestly, I'm just happy no one can see me. Fine. Oh. Okay, we did it. Sukuna. His devious smile. Oh my god. Stop it. That's so funny. We did it. That one was easy. I'm just gonna complete these all. Might as well. Yeah, I'll probably get gear at the end. Hopefully. That'd be nice. New foes will appear on the field. Okay. These sudden arrivals will target your weakest comrades, so be quick to eliminate them. Okay, the ones that come. Work with your allies to defeat the enemy so we can move on to the next training exercise. Okay. Okay, I got this. So focus on the ones that are coming in. The new ones. I know, I'm hoping it's actually good. We'll see. Yes, you can crash out. What happened? Hello? Pop off, queen. Okay. You fucked up so badly. I accidentally deleted the wrong Google account that was linked to my motherfucking Canva account, so everything I created is gone. I cannot recover my account. Why were you deleting Google accounts? Girl! Why? Why did you delete a Google account? I have so many Google accounts. Oh my god. I would cry. I would cry. Ooh, maybe you can call Canva and ask them to link the account to another email. Or email Canva. You learn to manipulate the battlefield. I am dying. I don't blame you. During the battlefield, enemies will pour forth from the rear gate. New foes will continue to flood in while... Okay. You must operate the lever that closes the gate or your party will be overwhelmed. Okay. No account found. Oh my god. Try to give them a call or email them. Say, like, you had an account under this email. Okay. I have to do what? Be wary of the gate. Okay, okay. Yeah, like, I'm sure they have the information still there. Operate the lever. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, that little thing is so cute. It's cute, kill it. I know. I don't have any. There it goes. Is there like an auto attack button? Like I can hit things. Can I hit things without using my like bells or whatever? Okay. According to my, oh, I already read that. You auto attack when you are close to enemies, but it's, oh, that sucks. Oh, I'm out in the field. I have to swap between ice and fire. Oh, ice restores it? I didn't know that. Okay, let's do this. What the hell is that thing? The enemy facing and stay out of harm's way. Okay. It's a bird. Okay. Come on. Another one. I did find out that if there's like a dotted yellow line that you should use that thing. Is what the person in the video said. Bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bro. Stop it! That's so annoying. Stop it! Campfire until you can't anymore. Once you can't, go to ice and then watch your purple bar at the bottom. Oh my god, what is this thing? You're already encountering the annoying AoEs as a black mage. This is a taste of your entire career as this class. Awesome. That's exciting. It's so exciting. I don't know why I chose black mage. I wanted to do magic. Like, I wanted to deal damage. Okay. He's almost in. If I get another relationship call, I might crash out. Oh no. We did it. At least you're almost done with work. What, you have 2 hours? 5, 6, 7, 7:30. 2.5 hours. We did it. Well, there is another class that's magical. It's the... Oh, it turns you into a summoner where there's a lot more mobility. You can cast attacks while moving. That is the only thing I don't like about this black mage thing, is that you can't cast attacks while you are moving. That is literally the only thing that I hate. And I know that's like the big thing of this class. So another client starts a fight, I'm gonna go home. Oh my god. You guys and your work, bro. I'm happy I'm not at a job right now. Black mage is a turret. Dang. Yeah, you guys working in the middle of the night. I remember sneaking in my Steam Deck at work. Honestly, I'd do the same. I have a Steam Deck too. There's no greater thrill than striving alongside like-minded companions to overcome the deadliest of challenges. Do I get things? I had a portable battery, but it was too bulky. That's the only thing with my Steam Deck. I feel like it dies really quickly. Did I get anything? Oh, I look stupid again. My partner said last night I was talking in my sleep and that I said, behave yourself. Stop. I don't know if I got anything either. Weird. $12 a.m. to 8 a.m. Gotta love it. Oh my god, it's gross. Yeah, that was fun though, honestly. I kind of enjoyed that. That was kind of fun. All that matters when your gear is too low to continue the MSQ. Okay. That's what I've been doing, is just working on the MSQ. Please tell me you're here on Yellow Jacket duty and not some daft sod out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ships seen slipping around the Isles of Umbra. We've been on the lookout for pirate activity ever since that vessel was sighted. Okay. So when we received word that the men of questionable quality was seen passing in and out of Satasha here, we weren't entirely surprised. I've yet to see them for myself, but if this lot belongs to those fishback fancying serpent reavers, well, you imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around the caves and find out who you're dealing with. The sun is rising. Is it already? Oh, I was like, it's literally dark. You have good news. What is your news? Who is this person? Just like, who is that in the back? Enlist the aid of allied players and NPCs. That is me spying on you. Why does it look like a Teletubby? Literally looks like a Teletubby. You're getting your own Wi-Fi. That's good. That's good. That's awesome. You get your own Wi-Fi, and that means you can stream and play video games without lag. That's awesome. You weren't thinking of anything else space-related. No, you look like a Teletubby. That's what that looks like, a Teletubby. Okay, let me actually read this. Enlist the aid of allied play. Dungeons! We unlock dungeons. To slay monsters, solve mysteries, defeat the mighty boss lurking in the depths. Conquering dungeons is not only a time-honored tradition, adventurers. It tests your... Okay. You may challenge a dungeon via two methods: by calling upon the support of trusty NPCs or by pooling your talent with other players. Be their best friend or first acquaintance. No matter how you form your party, the trials will await you. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm not gonna read all this though. I understand. So you're an alien Teletubby? Sure. Doesn't it look like a Teletubby? Tell me it doesn't. Okay, anyways. At least you look better than what I look like. What's this? A cookie? Thank you. I'll take it. Oh my god. But do my subtitles work? You don't have Coke on you right now. Oh my god, I'll take the cookie. I'll take it. I'll take it. High quality items. You have obtained a high quality item. Cool. All right, I'll actually do my quest now, I guess. I guess. If you want, you can party up for dungeons. Yeah, I definitely want to do a dungeon. She's out here. She's in the mountains. She's out here. Oh my god. Is that your mount? Because that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. This person's just vomiting here. I already touched grass today, no more. Oh my god. I have touched no grass. I have touched no grass. You're level 100. Parties make it possible to tackle challenges that would be impossible to overcome alone, such as defeating powerful enemies or exploring. You're back! I went to the doctor's today and to the grocery store, so I touched enough grass. Oh my god, no. I have not gone out. Oh, actually, I'm lying. I did go outside yesterday. And I got ice cream. Is this a dungeon? Or press U. Oh, okay. So then I would do this, and I would do join, I'm guessing. We got ice cream too, Ben and Jerry's. I got Dairy Queen. Yep, okay. So then what do I do? Oh, wait time. Less than 5 minutes. Okay. We're waiting. We're nocturnal. I know. Time doesn't exist. Chocolate therapy, and I like caramel and almonds one. As a DPS, your wait time is either 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Great. Depending on the time, which for right now, it's dead gamer hours. Yeah. It's 5 a.m. for me right now. You have been wanting ice cream for a while, and you kept forgetting to buy it at Walmart. Some dungeon MSQ will take 15 to 20 minutes at this time. Okay. I guess we're chilling. I guess we're just gonna hang out. Also, how is it that everybody finds me in the game so easily? Because you're the second person that's just appeared in my game. How are you doing that? How are you able to just find me in the game? So easy. If you don't want to be stalked, it's simple. Hide your server name and hide your name. Oh. I don't care. But wait, where's my server name? Where is it? Is it this up here? Current world. Oh my god. I don't really care. I was just wondering. I was like, how are you the second person that has appeared in my game? I don't really give a crap, but... I was like, how? But yeah, we got ice cream yesterday. I got Oreo cheesecake, which is like my favorite right now. It's so good. And then I got Sarah got Oreo Reese's, I think. It was good. It was good. But yeah, we're gonna do dungeons with the Teletubby. Yes, it was yummy. It was very good. It's because your stomach is out like that. Like, you look so cute. Like a little Teletubby. And the baby got fries. She did. Remember how I told you I hated cheesecake? I know, you hate everything that I like. You hate cheesecake, you hate pumpkin. Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Who hates those things? What's wrong with you? They're standing like our 3-year-old. I know. It's cute. Aww. Don't change. Yeah, it's like, don't change. You actually like it if it's not baked? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, wait, what is in your hand? What is in your hand? What the hell was that? You have a... Is this chicken? Oh my god. That's so funny. This woman was baking pumpkin bread every week. Pumpkin bread is so good, dude. Pumpkin is so good. There's cheesecake that's not baked. I mean, I guess the cheesecake in the ice cream isn't really baked. You're so cute. Look at you. It's almost been 5 minutes. Aw! Oh my god, you don't have feet. You have hooves. Did you see that door leave? No! This is truly dead gamer hours. I know. Crazy. I should have played on EU servers if I was going to play it this time. Pumpkin bread, pie, muffins, anything pumpkin, buy. Oh my god. Unsync is where I enter at max level. It's instant. And then you're pretty much Yeah, I don't know. I'm convinced you're insane just based on this conversation. I was setting up my Twitch, you distracting me. Girl, I can enter as a healer and heal myself since it adds aggro. I won't kill everything since I want you to do your own. Yeah, I want to do my own rotation. I mean, we could potentially do that. We could potentially do that. Can you exit? How do I do that? Press U. And withdraw? Okay. Click on my name on the team. Promote. Now you're a hot girl. Have you met me? You're setting up your Twitch though? I'm so excited. Yeah, now you're a hot girl. We're in. And you can't look the same every time. Oh my god. All right, I guess let's kill things. You should spam fire until your mana is empty, then refill it with ice. Okay. And then I should do ice. It has it been 3 years? Oh my god, that's crazy. Spam ice is what I mean. Okay, sorry. Spamming ice. Okay, I see that. Okay. And then I can go back to doing fire. Ah, okay. See, I didn't know that. My DMs with you is basically venting at me crashing out. Oh my god, it is. It hasn't, oh my, it's crazy that it's been this long. Okay. So then I should just do ice until it gets back to 100%, essentially. Okay. We're learning. I need to get rid of this stupid thing. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I'll teach you something else, but it's niche. What? You were there when she was a baby. baby. Sometimes dungeons will have stuff that you can read to help unlock stuff. For example, okay. Follow me. Okay. Following. Ooh, like this. You find a blood-stained scrap of parchment with a message. Okay. The captain likes his seas blue. Sometimes there are keywords that might help with stuff later. Okay. Remember how it says blue. Okay. Now she's about to turn 4 years old, which is crazy to me. Granite forgot about this in later dungeons, but it's nice to know. Okay. So they don't do it anymore in like the later dungeons? Okay. Later dungeons are very straightforward. You'll clear things and move on. That's boring. She is a mini-me. I realized it was at 100. Oh my god, it is so hard to get this baby out of bed. He's like me. How do you know when you are on to the next, like, I know the beginning is a Realm Reborn. How do you know that you are on to the next area or whatever? It'll tell you. Oh, okay. Cool. How do you know where to go? Oh, this way. No, this way. Like Heaven's Word. Okay, I see. Okay. Teach me. Meg was 7 when we met too. I remember her coming in when you were streaming and hanging out. Like, who's that? Oh my god. And then she'd be like, Mars, do you know Jupiter? Okay, see your hotbar? You have 2 lines. Yep. This one and this one. Look at the top line. Okay. I have fire too. Yes. Did I use that one? Fire 2 is an AoE fire attack. Oh, okay. Megan came yesterday during my stream. She came in and was asking for tape, bruh. So if you want to move stuff from your hotbar. Oh, this? Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. My bad. Nice. Yeah, Megan came in yesterday asking for tape, and I was like, bro. Yeah, I have an MMO mouse, so I'm trying to figure out what are easy buttons for me to like press. I think this is good for now. I know this is an AoE too, this Blizzard 2. Does the Blizzard 2 restore more? Should probably move this here. And put that there. Fire is damage. It's like that for all fire. Nice. Okay. Okay. Should I... In Final Fantasy, the general rule is this. Okay. Single target spells and attacks. You want enemies up to 2. If there are 2 enemies... You want to use your spells that target 1 player. Okay. And if there's more than that, then you do the AoEs. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. I did use my single fire dice. Okay, cool. Does the AoE one restore more, or it's kind of the same? Thank you for the sippy sip. I'll drink some water. The same. Okay. Okay. Cool. If for whatever reason you remove an item from your hotbar, which I probably will do by mistake, press P on your keyboard. Oh, and then it's right here. Okay. And then I can just drag it in. Okay, cool. Okay. I have to figure out, like, my rotation when it comes to, like, these things. Okay, duties, it doesn't matter. Okay. Cool. Nice, so I'll just leave that. And then this one, I don't even have it on the bar. Okay. And then main commands. Oh. Yeah, mount guide. That's where you have a bunch of mounts later that you collect. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's not unlocked right now. It's grayed out. Back to my hotbar. You said that was P. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's locked. I think. Yep, it's locked now. It's locked. Okay, I will. This 3 is fire. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, and now I do ice. Oh, but sometimes I can't do it. Okay. Okay, and then this one I do just do the, I see. I'm learning. Not great, but learning. Still getting used to where my buttons are. Yeah, on 3 or more targets. I realized that after I was doing it because it was only 2. I'm learning. I'm learning. I can't even see how many targets there are right now. Literally can't see them. Oh, 3. Okay, I see them now. Okay. I see. I see. I see. It does feel slow. Okay. I got this. I'm learning. Yeah, that's my thing is I need to learn when to switch. Like, I kind of understand when I'm supposed to be switching to single target spells, but like right there, I just realized there was only 2. So I was like, oh shit, I should switch. I can cancel the animation. Okay. Okay, I'm figuring this out. Okay. Nice. That thing is ugly. Hello? Oh. It like was not selecting. Okay. Okay. Noise. Oh yeah, the blue thing. Oh. Is it this? There's something in the distance. Oh, a thing popped up. Yeah, no, that's super cool. Yeah. What do I just do? Do I just wait? Wait for a few seconds. You click on transpose. This one? Okay. Oh, okay. The core of what your more advanced spells are for later. So basically, okay, cool. All right, loot rules. I guess I need this. Okay. That are not for your class. Like gear for a tank. And then what do I do with them? Can I like sell them or something, or a physical? Okay. Keep them or sell them. Okay. Oh, I guess I can keep them for like later on when I want to learn another job, right? Need overwrites greed. Okay. So if somebody needs it and you greet it, it'll go to them. Okay. Okay, I see. Cool. The highest roll out of 99. Okay. Cool. Get into mindset of I should use transpose when I run out of fire spells. Okay. Like right now. And then after I use transpose, should I use my fire spell? No. Okay. Transpose recovers you over to the... Okay, I see. In the middle of your screen. Yeah. This thing? Red and blue? Yeah. When it glows fire, I believe it allows you to cast fire spells more easily. Oh, okay. No, you're fine. You're doing a good job. Use transpose. Okay. Yes. It'll automatically let me use the ice, essentially. No, I'm talking in this chat right here on the bottom left. I'm not on a VC. Oh, okay. There we go. I did it. Oh, I know. Sometimes there's weird stuff. There's weird stuff in the chat. I'll probably make it smaller after stream. Yeah. Yeah, Mars. You're like, who are you talking to? Some people blur it, but it's up to you. Oh, if there is a lot of like not safe for work stuff, then I probably will blur it. Okay. Just keep transpose in mind. Okay, I will. Use it when you run out of fire. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. I will. Oh. So like use it now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the icon turns back when you go from ice to fire right away. Yes, I see that. Okay. Okay. I think I'm figuring it out. I have to remember about transpose though, because I forget about it. Introducing a new thing, I'm like, ah. Yeah. Totally walked past that. Totally walked past that, didn't even see it. Okay. Oh, I moved. Transpose when I'm full? Oh, to switch back. Okay, I see. Yeah, I just realized. Okay. But when it's full, I should switch back. Ah, it's confusing. Then transpose, then switch back to fire. Okay, we're figuring it out. I realize that. Okay. Oh my god. My English is dying. You're fine. Oh, it's just him? Okay. Okay now. That unlocks a door. There's multiple doors? Is it not this door? Oh. There's other doors? Oh. Okay. This door. I was like, what other door? Yes, another tip. Hold your keyboard's control. Okay. And press a number. Okay. Oh. Yeah, no, it does the top key. Yeah. I guess it's... I need to move the transpose one to 1, I think, because it'll make it easier. Because right now, clicking on it is easier for me rather than... Okay. Yeah, I was like, clicking on it is easier than using control with the 4. Oh, shit. Did he? I didn't pick it up. Or did it just drop? Okay, we got it. I was like, I definitely did not pick anything up. Oh, you obtained a gate key. I see. I see. There's no way to add volume to your butt. That sucks, right? That's why everyone wears the pants I'm wearing. You look good, though. The only pants that add slightly more ass to your butt. Oh my god. That's so funny. It's very important. It's not out of context. I was looking at the booty. It's a very important thing. I know, the like really tall bunny girls. Nothing. Ass flatter than Kansas. Oh my god. That's so funny. Will not stop yapping, so I'm like in and out. You're fine. You are fine. No, they didn't teach me. I haven't learned anything about glamour at all. I'm not. Yeah. Okay. After this dungeon? Okay. Same. You're fine. You're fine. Oh my god. Okay. Sometimes I forget to do the transpose. I'm still getting used to it. But I do see a difference when I use it. Okay. I'm guessing this is the boss. Oh, he's gross. Okay. What do you want me to do? Ah, leave me alone. I just see these unnatural ripples that are doing nothing. We'll spawn. Okay. Okay. Oh, bubbles begin forming on the water's surface. On this one. Oh, okay, I see. Sometimes you want to prevent the ads from spawning. Okay. I see. But like here. But obviously I can't do them all. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but that's cool though. Yeah, I definitely have to like look out in chat for things that are happening because I definitely am not used to like looking at it. Oh, I know. Nice. Look how stupid I look. You look all cute, and I'm like... Okay, and then we just exit from here. Oh, there's a treasure. Okay. Thank you. That was fun. I learned a lot. Okay. Yes. Left click on you. Oop. Examine. Okay. Sorry. Is that this? Oh, glamours. Right click on your ears. Okay. I'm trying it on. Okay. I also cannot wait to go to sleep. I'm tired. Yeah. You want to play games? You can have a full outfit with different items that you steal. Okay. Try on your ears again. Okay. Save and delete outfit. Okay. Click on your chest. Oh, I want to save and delete. Okay. Okay. Then go to the next one. Okay. Cute. Yeah, no, but it ain't there. It's not there. Look at it. Not there. What do you mean? Okay. Right click on the fitting room. What fitting room? You lost me. You lost me. How do I get to my fitting room? Oh, this thing. Okay. and remove the pants. The leggings? How do I remove them? Remove outfit. Oh my god. What is that? Okay. That's better. It's definitely better. I agree. Slightly. It's definitely better. He's the only pants that does that. Yeah, this is slightly better. I agree. Cute though. Thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, you're so cute. Okay. Thank you. I have learned a lot. Oops. I was like, what? Oh, okay. You're my first friend on here because I have yet to add my friends. Because like I said, I literally just started like 2 days ago. It's not. It's not. Adventurers Guild. Which way do I go? The Drowning Wrench. That's right. And thank you for the follow. Okay. What is happening? You accepted the job of investigating Satasha? I did. The wheel will turn and our chance will come. You're right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Okay. I don't want to read this. I don't want to. Okay. Oh, there's so much reading right now. Oh, and it's this guy that I can't with the accent. Still, you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose that they'll be carrying out. Oh my God, the accent that I have is horrible. You're for sure shedding some light on this mystery. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. If you waited 7 months until Evercold comes out, the game was actually going to allow you to have all class abilities by level 50. Really? That's still a long time, though. 7 months, dang. You would have had, for example, level 100 spells at level 50 instead of waiting for endgame. Dang. What am I doing? Yeah. Okay. I got monies. Okay. I am going to actually end here because I need to start my morning and feed my dogs and get my child up and do all those things because it is already almost 7 o'clock in the morning for me. But I will be live tomorrow morning again playing the same thing. Because this is my new obsession and this is what we're gonna be playing nonstop. So I appreciate you helping me so, so much because I don't know what I'm doing. So I appreciate the help. We are going to raid somebody playing Final Fantasy. Let's see. Yes, one more tip. What happened? What tip? Type C pose like in the chat. Like that. C pose. Oh. How do I look at myself? Can I look at myself? Oh, you're here. Oh my god, you're so cute. Now you look like you're on a vacation. How do I turn my camera around without moving the character? I forgot. Oh, like this. Oh my god. Look at me. Look at me in my stupid hat. Oh my god. Thank god. I was wondering if there was something like that. Thank god, because that hat was so ugly. That hat was so ugly. Look at me. I'm cute. I'm so cute. Dainty, dainty. Cute, cute. Okay. Oh, you're cute. You're a maid now. Okay. All right. I'm actually leaving now. That outfit's cute. I don't like the hat, but it's cute. I like the outfit. Okay. I'm a monk. I like it. I like it. Poe from Kung Fu Panda. That's so funny. We have to find somebody to raid. Let's see. Oh, that person's not even live. haven't watched Kung Fu Panda in so freaking long. It's very difficult to find somebody to raid when everybody is in a different language. Everyone's in a different language. At this time, the Americans aren't up. Let's see. We'll find somebody. I know, it's 6:55 for me. The Americans aren't up at this time, so it's really difficult to find somebody that I am like, "Oh, let's raid you." Okay. Okay, this person might be it. It's just overnighters really. Yeah, nobody's up. Fashion is super important in this game, so if you find someone who looks super cute in their clothing, steal it. Okay. I may borrow. I will. I'm about to have you go through every outfit and me steal every one that you have. Okay, we're going to raid this person. They're playing Final Fantasy. Half of them are paid with real money. The one you currently have? Cute. Okay. We are going to raid this girl named Pearl. And yeah, like I said, thank you for hanging out with me. It was a lot of fun. These are the raid messages. The first one is for followers, the second one is for subscribers. I appreciate you guys so, so much. And I will be live tomorrow. Also, if you are not in the Discord and want to hang out with me out of stream, you can join the Discord. I'm going to make a Final Fantasy like chat in there so we can talk about the game because this is going to be my main game for now. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so, so much. And let's go ahead and raid out.